What point did you realize I want to franchise this business? What type of support do you provide to your franchisees? What would you tell anyone out there that has a successful business and they're thinking to franchise it, but they have a little doubt of wondering if franchising is actually the right way to grow? And last thing, for anyone out there that's about to start a franchise or maybe thinking about turning their business into a franchise, what would you want to tell them? Who am I with today?
Frank Sampson, Senior Care Authority.
Great. Tell me more about what you do.
We provide families help in providing best places to live and get proper care for their loved ones.
Awesome. When did you start the business?
Well, I started it myself after a few years of research in 2009, built the model, and then in 2014 began franchising.
What point did you realize I want to franchise this business?
Well, I had a background in franchising prior in other industries, so in the back of my mind, it was something I wanted to do. When I was testing it out in that 5-year period, I realized that this type of a service really needed local people, local business owners, and it was just the right thing to do, and it was a great decision to do it.
What type of support do you provide to your franchisees?
Our training is very, very extensive. Ongoing support from a marketing, tech standpoint, and just hands-on in the field and working with them and negotiating assisted living agreements. It's pretty detailed. Social media, website, all of that.
Love it. And how many locations do you have?
We have about 105 right now.
What would you tell anyone out there that has a successful business and they're thinking to franchise it, but they have a little doubt of wondering if franchising is actually the right way to grow?
It's a lot of work a lot of expense up front, but the gratification is well worth it. And they just got to, depending upon what they're marketing, how it varies state to state, location by location, on whether that particular service is marketable. So they have to do their research. In my field, it's been very rewarding in a lot of ways.
And how did you overcome that fear factor? Can I actually franchise? Because people oftentimes think franchising is only meant for Taco Bell, the McDonald's out there.
Well, as I say, I franchised a company years ago, and I learned early on that it just wasn't, a restaurant or a hotel or a gas station. The service industry is growing, tremendous growth, and I realized that I was never fearful at all, at least probably because of my background in it. I just, the key is just finding the right people to do it.
And you mentioned people, and let's talk a little bit more about that. How important is it to really surround yourself? And what did you do early on to find the right people to make sure you get it right?
Well, I was wrong at the beginning. What happened over time is I realized that you have to have just people that are strong networkers. And believe it or not, it's not a prerequisite. Somebody who's been through this with a parent or other loved one. We specialize quite heavily with people with dementia, like Alzheimer's. And so people have been through that with somebody in their family. They just have that passion to really help others. And if you have that, again, not a prerequisite, that's the majority of our franchisees. Strong networkers, somebody who likes to build relationships, because that's where a lot of the business comes from, is professional referral.
And last thing, for anyone out there that's about to start a franchise or maybe thinking about turning their business into a franchise, what would you want to tell them?
Just do your research and test. You don't just come up with an idea and say, this is franchisable. Do your research and test.
Tell us a little bit more about your background of what you were doing before franchising.
I was in the travel industry, actually totally different industry, but believe it or not, a lot of similarities. I went to the hotel restaurant school at Michigan State, go Spartans. And so I was in the travel industry for well over 30 years. And after going through a whole lot with my parents, after I sold my business, just a light bulb went off. Decided to just learn as much as I can about the senior care industry. So I was in the travel industry. But again, there's still a lot of similarities between the two. Big difference is you're providing care, which is extremely, number one in our business.
So, and I see this often where you see a lot of great founders and entrepreneurs that have a great business mind philosophy. That's transferable into anything that you're going to do next. People also oftentimes think success is just the luck of that particular business, but oftentimes it's actually the founder that makes the business what it really is.
I got it going, but our business would not be where it is today if it wasn't for our franchisees and the ideas that come within. So the way I like to manage, and my recommendation is, try to bring ideas from your own customers, which are your franchisees, and listen to them and implement ideas based upon their, what suggestions they have, and you'll have a successful business.
Absolutely, because they have skin in the game.
Exactly right, yeah.
All right, thanks for your time. Best of luck. There are over 4,000 different franchise opportunities out there. To reduce your risk when picking a franchise, we provide you key insights and a great process to match you with the perfect opportunity. To learn more, click the link in our bio to schedule a free consultation today.